And I don't know if it's recording on my side. All right.
Well, it's recording.
So I was thinking that we should have our intro be something like that, because every single one of these starts with, wait, are we recording? It's recording. We're recording. We're recording. So let's put that to music and say,
yes,
blah, blah, blah.
I love it.
All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of SheKings, for peasants who don't want to live shitty lives. And we are here today to talk to you about all the things. Yes. So yesterday I came across a posting on Facebook and by my beautiful cousin, and it really brought to mind some stuff I've been thinking about. So let me read you the post. It says, if you're angry, you care. Rather than pretend to be unaffected, choose to deal with your issue head on. Give yourself a chance to release and move forward. I love that. I love that. And I think it speaks to something that I see a lot in my world, where people are really upset and agitated about something in their lives, like legit pissed off. And then they just...
like me all day yesterday,
for example. And then they, ice the person out, or, ignore them, or they pretend like nothing is going on, continue to live their lives. And you're like, dude, you're fucking angry. Like, get your life together. Have the conversation. But there is such fear around having the conversation. Before I turn it over to you, Allie, I want to give you an example of real life. So my mom has sisters and a brother, and they're all very close, and they have just a hilarious relationship. I went home for Christmas. My mom, I got the feeling that she was upset with my aunt about something. And, I think I asked her about it. I don't really get into these things. And she's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm angry. And so a few days later, I am borrowing my aunt's car and driving her to work so I could take her car and continue with my day. And she's like, is your mom mad at me? Or something like that. And I'm like, wait, so you don't even know if she's mad at you? And I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, I think she's upset. She was like, why? I don't know what's going on. And so I started to tell her, this is the reason why I think she's upset. And it's hilarious. Mom was like, that's not why she's mad. She's mad about this. Like, she just completely rejected what I said. I'm like, no, I'm pretty certain she told me what she was mad. But if you know better, no need to ask me. But the point is that my mom had been mad for weeks, like maybe even over a month. And my aunt was like, so my mom is walking around with this drama on her heart. And the person she's upset with doesn't even have a clue. Right? So she's killing herself. She's so angry. She's so pissed off. And she's not even saying what it is that could give her salvation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for everybody, it's going to be different. Like, why people avoid speaking clearly or speaking plainly. I do it because my story is like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to just like, oh my God, she's a bitch. Right.
Yep.
So I just either go, you know what, it's no big deal, or say it in a way that's so nice or accommodating, or just let it fester in here.
Yep. And I yell at you about that all the time, Allie.
I know.
Is so she's so appropriate, she'll join me every so often with her shit mouth, but like my shit mouth is out of control, and she knows it. Actually, my relationship with my husband, it makes her uncomfortable, and a lot of other people, because we don't hold shit. You're like, wait, what? I fucking can't stand you right now. You fucking suck. Just get the fuck out of my face. But we say it and we're done with it, right? Like, there's nothing unsaid in our relationship. We may not like what the other person has to say, but
right.
it was stated. And so, yeah, like you, I think a lot of people don't speak plainly because
Yeah.
they don't want to upset other people. But I think the other reason is that another reason, maybe not the other reason, is that people don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think about my mom's situation, and I don't think that in our family, when she was being brought up, it was normal to say, you upset me. That thing that you
Mhm.
did, it wasn't okay with me. And not just with little stuff like whatever it is they were dealing with, but with sexual abuse,
Yeah.
with communication between parents and children, with some pretty big stuff. It's just not okay to speak plain. Like, don't do that. I'm not okay with that. That doesn't work for me. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then you get trained to live like that. And then it starts being like that with small things, that you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to appear hurt or angry or say how things make you feel.
Right. Especially if you're raised in that, like, this is okay, this isn't okay. And then if you bring something to another person, such as a parent or somebody in trust, to say that this is happening, and they've already made it clear, like that act, whether it's sex abuse or whatever it is, like peer pressure to do something,
Yep.
that it's not okay. So then the fear of getting in trouble too
Mm,
is huge. Well, in my world growing up, it's like I didn't want to get in trouble. So, dear God, don't say anything. Don't
yeah.
invite that subject in at all. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ignore it.
Absolutely.
Because even just seeing it growing up and then throughout the years, it's the whole mindset is, well, what did you do to bring it on? So
Oh,
then,
wow.
so it's this thing that's so taboo. But if it's happening to you, then what did you do to bring it on, right? And so yeah, so just speaking clearly is yeah, it's your emotions or their emotions, trying to protect them, trying to protect yourself. It does get kind of muddled unless
Yeah.
it's you. I remember
Uh-huh.
our first teacher training. So I went to St. Martin to assist Erica in doing this yoga teacher training. I remember the first time, like this one student, she hadn't paid. And Erica was just like, and I was just like, oh, how are we going to handle this? And you were just like, you just went up to her and was like, listen, you need to pay right now because I don't chase money. I don't chase money. I'm not about that chasing money life. And so let's just go ahead and get this handled right now. And I was like, oh wow. Like I would I would avoid, like I used to clean houses in college. I would clean a whole house and they didn't leave me a check and they were there. And I would just be like, okay, bye. And I would just leave without getting paid. Because instead of just saying, hey, you didn't pay me, like
Yeah.
you need, yeah, it's just like so uncomfortable. But that uncomfortableness is all of our or my insecurity, right? Why don't I think
Gosh.
that I'm worthy enough to be like, hey, I did this job for you, so please pay me, right? So
Yep.
it's just a story,
Yeah.
right? And that it holds you back. It's an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Absolutely.
was huge for me.
So yeah, so we're I really want for the people who are listening today, and we're going to really try to make our shows a little bit shorter for the people who are listening today, to think about where in your life you have things that are unsaid, uh, where you have lingering issues. You think about a person or a situation and you're like legit pissed the fuck off, and you still haven't said anything.
Yeah.
And make a list of those places in your life. And then I think the next big step is to go ahead and write down for each of those things. If
Yeah.
I could just, like, without all the bullshit, without making it sound amazing, without justifying yourself, without when you, I feel, without all of that, just go into your heart and say
Yeah.
what it is that's on your heart. I am, um, I'm disappointed
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sad because of this situation here. And I know what role I play in it, or I accept responsibility for who I am as a person. It's not about blaming. It's about
Right.
Stopping fucking pretending that you're not affected by shit, or that you shouldn't be paid your money, or that whatever it is after you finish the entire job, or whatever it is, stop
Right.
pretending and tiptoeing, and just write down bare minimum, no extra stuff, how you
Yeah.
feel about the situation and what you feel, what you know needs to be said.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's a great way to do it. Automatic writing too. So
Yeah.
your conscious mind isn't getting in the way. So it's not just like, well, coaching you through it.
Yep.
So automatic writing is where you put your pen to paper, you set the timer for like 3 minutes,
Yep.
and you just write. Like if I could say whatever I wanted to say, what would I say? And
Yep.
then just let it just flow through you. And then you can read it and if it feels gross, reading it like, oh, okay, that is kind of mean, then
Yep.
understand that that was in your body, just hanging out, causing so much chaos in your body. And the big thing for me is when we hold something in and we're angry towards somebody else, we are literally giving them our power. And so when we practice what you just said by just saying, hey, you know what, I was really disappointed and this is my part. Like you can literally, for me, I can feel my power coming back to
Yeah.
me. Like I'm just like,
Absolutely.
I'm owning this, and I'm not giving them my power. I'm keeping my power, but I'm seeing it this way. And that's so big. That's so big for me.
Because then you can walk away. And this quote is, at the end it says, give your chance to release and move forward. Just like you said, it's really about taking your power back, because now your mind isn't playing it with it anymore. Now it isn't, I should have said. Now it isn't, next time I'm going to say. Now it isn't, I wish I could say it, but I can't because this person's going to be upset. Or, when you feel too vulnerable to say it, it's typically, you don't think that clearly. Like, I feel way too vulnerable to say this. It's just, you think about saying it and you feel really disgusting and you feel really terrible and you feel really down. And that is a sign that the reason why you're not saying what you have to say, it's because you feel too vulnerable to say it. Yeah. And the example that Allie gave of us with our first teacher training, I think that's important as well, because it's no drama, right? I wasn't mean to the girl. Like, I didn't, put her in handcuffs or throw her to the ground or anything like that. I was just like, hey, you're coming here every day. You're getting the benefit of this training, which
Yeah.
was fucking awesome. Like, let's be
It was
clear.
awesome.
It was awesome. You're getting the benefit of this training. I just came in here. I just cleaned your place top to bottom. Amazing. And Allie has this thing with before and afters. And so if she was cleaning somebody's place, it was amazing. Okay. Like, she loves it. And to not be just, dude, do the right thing. And
Yeah.
a lot of times when the speaking plainly is coming up for you, somebody's just not doing the right thing. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, if someone's not doing the right thing, on purpose or not on purpose, it's not on you now to be polite. So that's the last point I want to make. You I'm not going to walk up to you and say, can we have a seat here and let's talk about this. When you sign up for something that has a price tag on it, what you have to, I'm not going to try to find all those words, and I'm not going to try to make it super nice, and I'm also not going to make it heavy and you're a bad person. It's just, hey dude, hey, do the right fucking thing. Okay. So everybody, let's everybody do the right thing and just look at it
Too. And a lot of people, when they let things go, like without addressing it, and then they talk about it with their friends, and they
my God, yes.
cultivating it, right? So when you do that, you literally are connecting to the very thing that you are so upset about.
Yep.
Like,
so explain that more.
So if someone didn't pay for the teacher training and we didn't approach them, we didn't address it, but you and I were just like, every day, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe she hasn't paid yet. What does she think this is? Right. Yeah. We're attaching energetically and supporting the very situation that we don't like. We're making it, we're literally saying, please stay around longer. I
Yep.
support you. I'm feeding you. Don't go anywhere. And so just to have that conversation is to literally disconnect from it, to be like,
Oh,
I see
wow.
it, I feel it. And so I'm going to say something. And then that energetic connection is detached. It's gone. Like you're
I
not
love it.
supporting it.
I
Yeah.
love it. So all of you guys who have something going on in your life, you've gone ahead and you wrote down your list, and you wrote down the things that you have to say. Go back and look at your list, right? Go back and look at your list and ask yourself how many people you've lamented to, how fucking ridiculous the people are and the situations are on your list. How many times have you like over lunch, over the phone, to whomever said, oh, and blah, 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 and this terrible thing and that terrible thing. Can you believe this person did this thing or said this thing and keeps on doing it? They don't even know they need to stop. My mom's situation with my aunt is literally like, I didn't know there was a problem. Someone mentioned it to me. And so that's why I'm asking you. And I have no clue what the problem is. And, I really think I was giving her a right reading of what the problem was. But my aunt, it was so because my mom said nothing to her. She's just holding it inside and walking around like literally pissed, like actively angry about it. And the person is so far from it that when I looked her in her eyes and said, this is the reason I think she's upset. And like, again, I barely listen. When people are on drama and bullshit, I'm not listening. My mom knows too. She's like, Erica, I want to talk to you about something. And da-da. I'm like, oh gosh. And so she knows I'm only half listening. So if you're listening to this, mom, I'm already, I'm only half listening. Like, what do you mean? And so I tried my best to tell my aunt what the issue was. And my aunt was just like, and so it will never be resolved until even if you send somebody to talk to somebody about it, even if the person gets a whiff of it and they try to stay in line, they don't know until you have the conversation with them. And it's really not about fixing that person or fixing their actions. Like Allie
Yeah.
said, it is about getting back your power and putting that situation down and moving on. But to the extent that you want to continue to have a relationship with the person and what they're doing is disqualifying,
Yeah.
they have to know what's disqualifying. They have to
Right.
know.
And when you speak plainly, you're not trying to change people. You're not trying to look for an apology. You're not doing anything other than I am sharing this with you. This is my perception of it. This is where I'm coming from. And that's it. Like stop right there. Because if you're just like trying to prove that you're right and they're wrong,
Yep.
get something from them, it's pointless. You're
Yep.
you're still giving them your energy. It's just literally I'm sharing my perception, my belief of this situation, and then that's it. It's done. Don't expect anything else. Let them be
And
who they are. Yeah.
because the issue is, even if they said, "Oh, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm not going to do that again." Now everybody's living by these rules, and
Yeah.
rules are sometimes broken, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Rules they sometimes don't do what it is that you want to do, and so you're really right back at square at square one.
Square one.
But
Yeah.
the difference between having that conversation and being vulnerable and being honest and not worrying necessarily about their feelings and trying to say it in a nice way and blah, blah, the difference between having that conversation and then them fucking up again is that now you don't have to have the conversation again. Now it's really in your court to say, how do I want to respond to this?
Right.
Probably not. You don't need another conversation, right? If you are absolutely clear, you can. And then that again is your choice. But
Yeah.
maybe it's time to walk away. Maybe it's time to adjust the situation, adjust the relationship, and respond to that person, understanding like this is who they are and these are the types of things they're into doing, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work for you.
Exactly. And I think those would be two good topics for us to talk about coming back is setting boundaries and knowing what your yes is. I don't like the word boundaries, so I like knowing what your yes is. And then I think for next week, let's actually talk about forgiveness
Yeah.
and what it does to your body and
Yep.
energetically, how it shifts you. So I think, so these three next sessions will tie into each other
Yep.
nicely. Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
the homework is for them to write down.
Yep. Write down any situations that come to your mind that make you feel yucky, icky, disgusting, angry, pissed off, rageful, vindictive, vengeful,
Homicidal.
exactly, homicidal, any of those things, that just keep coming to your mind. And
Yeah.
then for each of those situations, if you could just speak plainly, no bullshit. If you
Yeah.
could just say like why this thing is really, really bothering you, it might be
Yeah.
you. You might realize like,
And you probably will.
yeah,
You
whatever.
probably will. And don't go through each one and just say, okay, if I could say something, don't let it be like, go fuck yourself, go fuck
Right.
yourself. Go fuck yourself. No,
Exactly.
kind of say, this is how I feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Make it a little deeper than that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And try not to have there be attachment. If there's a call to action from the person that you need, that you're speaking to, that you need to speak to, try not to be attached to the outcome. Like, here's what I need from you. And when you're not attached to the outcome, it says, so for example, if I were like, you need to pay your money, okay, like you're doing, and she's like, no, bitch, I'm not paying. That's fine. That's fine, right? There's no drama there. It's like she doesn't want to pay. Okay, well then here's what we do from here, right? And
Right.
so going into the situation, you want to, if you decide to act on these situations that you're writing down, whatever your call to action is for the person, whatever it is that you believe you need from them, or you'd like to have from them better, make sure, try your best to not make that a requirement or something that has to happen. Just know that from the place of power where you've shared what you have to share and where you've spoken plainly, you can decide. You have
Yeah.
all the power to live and create the life that you want to create with them having full knowledge of where you are, and you may be getting more clarification, maybe not, on where they are.
Yeah. Perfect.
Beautiful.
I love it. I love it. That's all
So
I got.
that's all I got. I got no more. I got no more. So you all, thank you for tuning in today. I think this is
Yeah.
a shorter recording.
And we would love it if you guys would share us with your friends. We're trying to grow our community on Instagram and wherever, YouTube, iTunes, Facebook.
Facebook. Yep.
That would be fabulous to get the
And
word out. That'd be awesome.
also leave a review on iTunes. Give us a 5 out of 5, leave a review, and that will also help us to reach more people with this awesome, amazing, super deep
Spiritual shit.
spiritual shit we talk about. You're welcome. All right, guys. You've been listening to SheKings for peasants who don't want to live shitty lives, and we will check in with you guys next week.
Awesome.
Lots of love.
All right.
Peace.